Up next, man, we're gonna move on to with the holiday season coming, man. The Christmas action adventure Red One, directed by Jake Kasdan and written by Chris Morgan. The film follows the head of North Pole Security, played by Dwayne Johnson, teaming up with a bounty hunter, played by Chris Evans, in order to locate a kidnapped Santa Claus, played by J.K. Simmons, on Christmas Eve. Lucy Liu, Kiernan Shipka, Bonnie Hunt, Nick Kroll, also star. Um, Charles, you want to take this one first, man?
Or the sad part about um Chris Evans does not do well with Rotten Tomatoes, and this movie was not highly rated by Rotten Tomatoes either. But I found it to be quite interesting because we've never seen this kind of a Santa before, where J.K. Simmons is like totally ripped as Santa Claus. I'm like, what does he need? What does he need the Rock for? He should be ripped enough to take care of all these guys himself. But yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting story. It's quirky. You get a lot of these weird characters and things that are happening. It's entertaining as a film. Santa Claus is, of course, the red one that we're all talking about. That's his code name for security purposes. But I do like the fact that they kind of explain how Santa Claus does all what he does throughout, supposedly what he does throughout the year. As a person, I believe in Santa Claus. So I don't want to be on the naughty list. And as Chris Evans' character, naughty list level 4. He's a bad dude. And so yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's The Rock, it's Chris Evans, it's J.K. Simmons. Lucy Liu has an interesting part in here where she gets to kick some butt too. So I mean, I had fun with it. I will say this: you and I had an opportunity to see this in a different environment than we normally see films. Uh, and
We did indeed.
I'll be honest, the 4D experience was a little off-putting. It
Man, that
kind
40, that 40, let me jump in. That 4D experience, man, let me just tell you something, which is interesting about this. And I think I even said this to you while we were watching it, right? I said, I understand that theaters need revenue and they got to come up with different ways to entertain people and capture their attention. But if you put me in, what was it called? A 4D experience?
4DX
4DX.
experience.
So Charles and I sat next to each other and watched this. And thank God I didn't have any food because everything that plays out on the screen happens to you in the chair. So if there's action and folks are fighting, your chair is jerking back and forth. Charles at one point talked about his butt was hurting because he was sitting there. So I I don't know. Watch this. I don't know if I'd recommend the 4DX experience because I hate to tell it. So Charles, imagine if we were watching Fast and Furious 5 in 4DX. Oh, bro, that would hurt. That would hurt. So yeah, but I thought personally that the film was charming. I had heard um a lot of stuff about the movie, in advance. And all I can say is that, um, you know, I don't know, man. It had its charms. I'll say that much. I'm not saying it's horrible. I wouldn't. Now, I'm just speaking for me. I'm not going to call it a Christmas classic. Like it's not Claus or it's not Jingle
Jingle
Jangle.
jangle.
Nah, it's not that. It's enjoyable. I mean, it has its charms, and I'll say that much. If I had to give it a grade, I'd give it a C. So yeah. What about you, Charles?
Yeah, I agree with you. I might have been convinced to give it a C plus, but then I remember that I gave Meet Me Next Christmas a C plus, and Meet Me Next Christmas is a much more fun film than Red One. So
Well,
I'll say it's just a regular C.
your butt was hurting. That's why it took off that half a star. Because Charles, I was like, why are you sitting in a chair like that?
I was all slouched down in the seat like that. It's like, what's going on here? My butt hurts, dude. This is terrible. I
Oh
had the
man, that's fun, man.
and the
That's
rain
fun. All
and the
right.
water on. one, it was really distracting.
Yes, sir. So that was red one, man. So that's it for that one.